The Jimmy Z Show.
Okay, we've got a lot to do here. Let's get to this absolutely ridiculous thing Obama said. First, once again, I want to remind you what it was that Mitt Romney said that apparently led to Obama speaking to Entertainment Tonight.
This is what an angry and desperate presidency looks like. So, Mr. President, take your campaign of division and anger and hate back to Chicago and let us get about rebuilding and reuniting America.
I agree with everything he said there. The president has been angry. The president shows hatred. And, most importantly, President Obama has been dividing the American people. He's been intent on division. He's been actively seeking to divide the American people. Barack Obama has been engaging in class warfare, which is a tool that Democrats use to divide the American people, sowing jealousy and hatred between the classes. What we want in America is someone who doesn't have a lot of money to be inspired by someone who does, and then to work harder to achieve more. But in Obama's America, the president wants Americans to be jealous of and angry with Americans who have succeeded. And then those people want the federal government to step in and punish those people who succeed. Take more money from the successful people and redistribute the wealth to make things more fair. On these three specific points, Romney is spot on.
So, Mr. President, take your campaign of division and anger and hate back to Chicago.
You would never have heard John McCain say anything even remotely close to that during his campaign in 2008, ever. So here's Barack Obama on Entertainment Tonight telling another whopper of a lie. This is really something. The guy has no shame.
Speaking of negativity, of course, what happens when you have a campaign? Romney just accused you of running a campaign of hate and anger. How do you react to that? How do you respond to that?
Well, Nancy, you've been on the campaign trail with me for a day and a half, and this is pretty typical of what we do. We're going around the country talking about how do we put people back to work, how do we improve our schools, how do we make sure that we're producing American energy, how do we lower our debt in a responsible way. And I don't think you or anybody who's been watching me campaign would suggest that in any way we have tried to divide the country. We've always tried to bring the country together.
Okay, let's break this down. Jeez. If anyone spends a day and a half on the campaign trail with President Obama, they're going to know everything about Obama's campaign, right?
Well, Nancy, you've been on the campaign trail with me for a day and a half.
Well, now she knows. For a day and a half, Obama has been on his best behavior with the woman from Entertainment Tonight who's doing a television piece. For a day and a half, she's been with Obama. Now she knows that the Obama campaign has done nothing to try and divide the American people. There's no anger. There's no hate. I know because I've been with him for a day and a half.
Well, Nancy, you've been on the campaign trail with me for a day and a half.
And then Obama says something that is, I think, a great illustration of how ineffective he's been as president. This guy has been president for 4 years. Well, 3 3/4 years. And he has accomplished nothing. Here he is on Entertainment Tonight outlining what his campaign is about. Isn't this what his presidency was supposed to be about? He's had nearly 4 years, and he's still trying to figure this stuff out.
We're going around the country talking about how do we put people back to work, how do we improve our schools, how do we make sure that we're producing American energy, how do we lower our debt in a responsible way.
The last one is the funniest of all. This guy has spent $1.2, $1.3 trillion more than he's been taking in every year that he's been president. And here he is on Entertainment Tonight saying that he's looking for a responsible way to reduce our debt. What a joke! What a liar! Obama is not interested in reducing the debt at all. Obviously. it's quite clear that the last thing Obama is interested in is reducing the national debt. Okay, the list, one by one. And you tell me, shouldn't Obama have been addressing these issues during his first term in office?
We're going around the country talking about how do we put people back to work.
I think that would have been a great thing to do during the first term in office, Obama. But no, during the first 2 years of Obama's presidency, he had Democrat majorities in both houses of Congress, and so they pursued their liberal, leftist, socialist agenda. They went after the banks. They went after the automobile companies. They went after health care. Obama was not interested at all in putting people back to work. He's still not.
How do we put people back to work?
No, once again, Obama was not interested in putting people back to work. What's next?
How do we improve our schools?
That is a union concern. When Obama talks about schools, he's talking about teachers' unions. Every time. What's next on your list, Obama?
How do we make sure that we're producing American energy?
Yeah, he's interested in energy, all right. He's interested in green energy. He has the Environmental Protection Agency shutting down coal-burning power plants. And green energy is decades away from being able to provide the electricity, the power, the energy that Americans need.
How do we make sure that we're producing American energy?
Yeah, right. Don't give me that crap.
Please cut the okay?
The last thing that Obama is interested in is providing electricity, providing the energy that the American people need. And finally, the biggest joke of all, Obama claiming that he is interested in any way in lowering the national debt.
How do we lower our debt in a responsible way?
Oh, that's so funny. Let's see, how much, every now and then on the show, we look at the national debt clock and we calculate how much the national debt has increased under Barack Hussein Obama. Today, as I am putting together the show, the national debt is at $15,972 billion. We're closing in on $16 trillion of American debt. The GDP, the U.S. gross domestic product, is, you might be interested, $15,302 billion. That means that the U.S. national debt is $600 billion higher than the U.S. gross domestic product. What that means in terms of a family is that you would be in $16,000 of debt, and you would be taking in, during the course of the year, $15,300. No way you could ever pay it off. So let's see, the national debt is $15,972 billion, and it was $10,616 billion when Obama took office. Mr. Obama has racked up $5,356 billion in debt during the less than 4 years he's been president. And let's see here. He's been president for about 43 months. We'll do a division thing here. We'll divide up that amount of debt he's increased by 43. That number is $125 billion. Every month, Obama is increasing our national debt $125 billion. That's about $4.2 billion a day. Increased national debt under Barack Obama. And I divided it down once again. That number is $166 million increased national debt every hour under Barack Hussein Obama.
How do we lower our debt in a responsible way?
I am absolutely committed to fiscal responsibility.
So that we now have over $9 trillion of debt that we are going to have to pay back. $30,000 for every man, woman, and child. That's irresponsible. It's unpatriotic.
All right, and so if that wasn't crazy enough, Obama talking on Entertainment Tonight, this idea that he has not tried to divide Americans, that he has attempted, that his goal was to bring people together, is a lie. This whole thing, everything that comes out of Obama's mouth is a lie. Every time he opens his mouth, if he's talking, he's lying.
I don't think you or anybody who's been watching me campaign would suggest that in any way we have tried to divide the country. We've always tried to bring the country together.
What a magnificent load of crapola. Barack Obama. Oh, we've been trying to bring the country together. No, not really. There is nothing in Obama's nearly 4 years in office that would make anyone think that he's trying to bring the country together. Sorry. But the big question here is, what does Entertainment Tonight have to do with Barack Hussein Obama? It's not a politics show. It's a stupid entertainment news program. Every time I watch that show, I want to take a shower and clean up. It's awful. Oh, and they heap on the praise, no matter who did what movie. Oh, that movie looks good. Oh, look at her hair. She looks great. Oh, that new CD sounds excellent. Over and over and over again, praise. But what does... And you know what? People like it. Fine. They want to watch it on television. Knock yourselves out. But having Barack Obama on Entertainment Tonight doesn't make any sense at all, except for the fact that Hollywood and Entertainment Tonight and television and movies, it's all very, very liberal. That's why Obama is on Entertainment Tonight.
The Jimmy Z Show.